The recent killings in Juarez of U.S. consulate officials, I think, demonstrate the dire situation down at the U.S.-Mexico border across from El Paso, my home state of Texas. Last year in Mexico, over 6,000 people were murdered at the hands of the drug cartels, many in very horrific execution-style slayings. There is a war going on, and the president of Mexico calls it a war, because it is. We can't afford to delay and wait. We met with Secretary Napolitano this morning, and she said, I want to take a timeout and review this situation and assess SBInet. And that's fine. I respect her opinion on that. But we can't afford any more timeouts. I mean, 2008, then 2013, and then we were told that the earliest this could be complete would be 2016. Meanwhile, there's a war going on. There are people being killed, and it's going to spill over into this country. It's a threat, security threat, not only to Mexico, but a national security threat to the United States. And people in our state see it up close and personal. And I have the video clip I want to show. There is an operation going on at SBInet Block 1 in the Tucson sector that began on February the 6th, where about 4 dozen Border Patrol agents, even though it's being tested, are making it operational, even though it hasn't had final approval. And Chief Fisher, I would like for you to go ahead, if you may, and narrate what we're seeing on this video.
Yes, sir, I'd be happy to. This happened last month in the Tucson area of responsibility. What you're seeing here in the middle of the screen are 6 backpackers coming in from Mexico. They were detected and are being tracked now. You can see carrying marijuana, what turned out to be almost 200 pounds of marijuana. Now, as the screen switches and you see the white hot, you see in the upper corner, you'll see a Border Patrol agent lying in wait. His partner is up ahead of the group waiting to do the interdiction. What's also happening, as you can see as it pans out, is the Border Patrol agent that's operating the system at the command and control is taking a look at the surrounding area to provide security for those 2 Border Patrol agents who are about to do the interdiction. At the same time, command and control will be calling out to other Border Patrol agents to start moving into the area to provide cover. Now, the other thing of note I would like you to see is when the interdiction is made and the Border Patrol agent in front starts challenging the group, identifies himself or herself as a Border Patrol agent, the group starts to run, except for the person that's first in line with the dopers. And what happens a lot of times is this person is the guide, person who knows where they're going, and in some cases in this particular area, that person may be armed. And what's happening here is we have a better sense of situational awareness. We have a better sense of identifying the particular threat for that information to be relayed to the Border Patrol agents prior to that interdiction being made.
Well, I want to thank CBP for sharing this video with us, with the committee, with myself. I viewed this video a couple days ago, and it seems to be working pretty effectively. And I know that there's even more technology where they can put a laser on the dopers crossing to better guide the Border Patrol agents to where they are.
Yes, sir.
So it works. Mr. Barkowski, why is this going to take so much longer to finally get approved and get ready? Because, our home state of Texas has 0. We have nothing on our border. The Texas-Mexico border has nothing down there, and that's where a lot of the killings are taking place.
Yes, it does work, but what you see there is a system which has some patches, and we are finalizing. We want the final version of the software, for example. So you've got beta versions of software, for example. It has to go through something called certification and accreditation. So, for example, on your home computer, occasionally, Windows sends you a note, says there's a security patch you need to download. Because we were working on the software, we didn't download any of those. We've held them all in abeyance. We've got to get those in. That takes some time. Some of the issue is making sure we do have a good test plan for the final measurement, because we're going to use that to make a decision about spending potentially a lot of money on more of these. So it is important, I think, that we do this right, and that at the end of the day, this looks very, very promising, but we make sure we've really tested it, much in line with what Mr. Haidt has said.
And I can appreciate that. What is your time frame? Because we saw a successful apprehension. What is your time frame for getting this approved?
As we said, the plan that we have right now is to get all of these cleanup activities done. The system acceptance test should run basically through August, and we should be ready to turn it over to the Border Patrol for their operational test. They get a chance to say, notwithstanding the engineering, they like it, they don't like it, very formally. So that should happen in September. We are building AHO, and one of the reasons for building AHO is to start to demonstrate, if we decided we want more, how quickly can they go up and what will they actually cost. So AHO is very important, I think, to your consideration, Congressman, because that'll give us evidence of whether or not it can go up quickly, how long it would take, where it would make sense.
If it all goes well and it's approved in short order, how soon can we, because the 2016, it's a very long time out in the future, and as I mentioned earlier, I don't think we have time. We're running out of time here. What can we do to expedite this?
And again, I think the thing to do to expedite this is to divert funds immediately to other technologies which are perhaps not quite this effective, but still very effective, to those critical areas based on Border Patrol priorities. We've started that. We've started diverting funds. The Secretary has said this is urgent. There are areas where we need something today, and if that means this existing technology, we're going to do that. If it turns out that SBInet Block 1 should be done more broadly, then we'll have to have a discussion with the Congress about the pace and the funding and the budgets required for that. We're just not there yet. In the meantime, the Secretary has said technology is urgent. Divert some funds for some of these other technologies to plug those holes.
Well, this issue has been largely ignored, in my view, by the Congress, and I think we need to prioritize this issue. There's nothing more important, I think, to a lot of my constituents. Last question. The chairman mentioned the UAVs. I've been a big proponent of that. I had an amendment on the floor that was unfortunately defeated to provide more UAVs down there. There are some. I think it's been very successful in terms of surveillance. The governor from the state of Texas has requested additional UAVs to add more resources down to the border. Would anybody on the panel care to comment on that?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I'm working with the Assistant Commissioner for CBP's Air and Marine, General Kostelnik, and one of the things that we're looking at is trying to expand that capability across the southwest border. We're continuing to work with FAA. I think it was mentioned earlier that the certificates of authorization and trying to get us airspace to be able to deploy those UASs beyond our current capability right now. And that is going to help our ability to achieve operational control even beyond some of those areas where we can fly those UASs. But we are looking at that.
Then the Secretary did mention the airspace issue. If there's anything I can do to help you, then I'm here to help.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I yield back.